Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my friends. This is the video on the number rules of 11 and 12, and this is the continuation of lesson number 24, which is only on number rules. So as I have done the rules on 1 and 2 and 3 to 10 in my previous video, now in this video I will cover the rules of 11 and 12, 13 and 19 and 20 separately, because the rule for 20 is different from 13 and 19, and the rules of 11 and 12 is different from 13 to 19 also. So previously, as I have discussed in my video, that the rules for 1 and 2 is different from 3 to 10. Similarly, here also in 11 and 12, the rules for 11 and 12 is different from 13 to 19. So let's see what is different and what is the similarity between number 1 and 2 and 11 and 12. First, I will speak about the similarity. So what is the similarity here? The similarity between the rules of 1 and 2 and 11 and 12, what is the similarity? That the gender is the same. Gender remains the same. I missed out these points, so I'm writing right now. And number 2, the number 2 is changing. Why it is changing? Because it is representing the duality. So the number 2 is always changing. As we know, when it is in marfu case, it represents with alif, and as we all know, the grammar students, that in marfu the muthanna noun is recognized by the letter alif, the letter alif here. And mansoob and majroor, how it is known? By the letter ya. So in case of mansoob and majroor case, the number name will be ithnay. Sorry. And in feminine number, what will it be? Ithnatai. The ta will be there to represent the femininity. Ithnatai. So this is in marfu and mansoob and majroor case. So this is the difference, and these two are the similarities between 1 and 2. Now let's go to the number rules of 11 and 12 here, as I have done it all before. Just like before, I have made all the points here, collected all the points. From 11 and 19, the numbers are in two parts. As you can see here, the numbers are in two parts. Here, the first part is the number. The first part is the number, and the first part consists of one noun, that is the number name. Ahada, ithna, ithnan, thalatha, arba. What is the second part? The second part is ashara and tamiz. Tamiz means the counted nouns. From 11 to 99. Remember, from 11 to 99, now the counted nouns will be called tamiz. And what was the counted noun known in number 3 to 10? It was ma'dood. And what was it called in 1 and 2? 1 and 2, the structure of numbers were mausuf and sifa. So in 3 to 10, the counted nouns was known as ma'dood, but in 11 to 99, the counted nouns will be known as tamiz. So the second part comprises of tamiz and the number ashara. So this is the second part. Now, irrespective of the book, how it is given in the book, I always tell my students to make This part as the first part, the number name as the first part, and ashara and tamiz as the second part. Why? Because when you change the gender in 13 to 19, when it comes to changing the gender, then the confusion arises. So when we come to that point, I will explain in detail. So firstly, from 11 to 19, the number names are in two parts. Remember that. Okay, the first part is the number name. Second part is the ashara and the tamiz, the Taliban. As Taliban is the tamiz here. What is the second point? In Arabic, we don't have names of number. Like in English, we say 11, 12, 13, 14. These are all number names. But in Arabic, we don't have such names. We don't have separate names for 11 or 12 or 13 or 14. What do we call it? We call them as 10 and 1, 10 and 2, 10 and 3. So that's how we go on till 19. And what happens? This is the most important point for 11 and 12. Please mark this because this is the most important point. So in Arabic, number 11, 12, 13, 14 and so on are called as ahada wa ashra. Now pay attention to the structure. What is the structure with a waw here? Okay, ahada wa ashara. What did we say? That it is called as 10 and 1. This is 10 and 1. Okay, 10 and 2, 10 and 3. So this is like 10 and 3. This is how we say numbers in Arabic. But what happens? You see here, what happened here? The numbers are ahada ashara. Where did the waw go? Let's see where the waw goes. So here the waw has been taken out between the two numbers and now it becomes mabni on fatha. This kind of numbers are called murakkab. In Arabic it is called murakkab, means it is made up of two nouns, compound numbers. Two nouns came together. In this case it is the noun is the name of a number made up of two numbers. Let's see. Now I have made this table here to make you understand what has actually happened. So if you pay attention here, what happened? Now in number names, what happened? Now this is the number 12. Okay. Now originally we have ahada and we put waw in between and ashara. As we said, the number names was 10 and 1, 10 and 2. So what happened? Let alone the Taliban. We don't need to work with the tamiz now. Okay, just let alone the Taliban. We need to focus on this number 10 and 1, 10 and 2. So what happened? Between these two numbers, when the waw was removed, if I remove the waw from here, what happened? These two numbers became together and became one compound word. One compound word or one compound number which is called murakkab. Now it became murakkab. Ithna ashara, ahada ashara. So when this waw was removed, what happened? Another thing, what happened? First, it became murakkab. That means a compound word. Okay, murakkab. Second thing, what happened? It became mabni. Mabni on what? On fatha. Okay, because of the removal of waw, it became mabni on fatha. So since this is a weak letter, we cannot put harakah over it. So we will assume fatha muqaddara. Okay, but still there is a fatha because it became mabni on fatha. So the ashara also remains mabni on fatha. and here also ashara became mabni on fatha. Even the number name ahada became mabni on fatha. But since this is a weak letter, I cannot put a haraka over it. So we will assume there is a fatha over here. So the number became mabni on fatha. Similarly, this rule applies to 13 and 19 also. All the number name from 11 to 19 became mabni on fatha. Okay, so the first part, as I discussed before, the number name ahad. What is the second part? The 10 and the tamiz. Ashara and Taliban is the second part. Very important point. The first part is the number name. Second part is the Ashara Taliban. These two changes is gendered together. Now this is the important point that I was referring before. Why I made these two as a second part? Why? Because when changing the gender, like in from number 13 to 19, when you change the gender, the Ashara and the Taliban, which is the tamiz, this is the tamiz here, these together changes gender. Together it changes its gender. That means when it changes its gender, Ashara Taliban, this is our part to decide whether the number is for male or female. Like if I'm talking about feminine students, female student, like 11 feminine students, 11 female students, how will I recognize that it is 11 female students? I will look at the tamiz, the second part. This is the second part. So I will look at the second part. Both of them should be feminine together. Asharata and Talibatan. Okay, then I will decide what should be the number. The first part, in this case the first part is this, the first part is this, then I will decide the number. So from 13, actually here it is example I have given ahada, it should be thalatha because this rule applies from 13. Okay, this should be salasa and not ahada. Please check this point. This should be thalatha and not ahada because this rule starts from 13 to 19, the changing of the gender, opposite genders, not from 11 and 12. 11 and 12 remains the same. Okay, so another important point is that the tamiz will remain. Yes, this is another important point. Singular, number 1 point, nasb means in mansub and nakira. You have to check all these three for tamiz. A tamiz should be singular, it should be in mansub case always, and it should always be nakira. This is the most important points when you do the number rules for 11, 12, 13, 14 and so on. So let's check the other points. So I have discussed here the waw has been taken out between the two numbers and now it becomes mabni on fatha. This kind of numbers are called murakkab. Compound numbers means compound numbers made up of two numbers. Okay. So the number fourth point is these numbers, when the waw is taken out, they remain in one form. That means they become mabni on fatha and they don't change their harakas. Please make this point very important. They don't change their harakas in any position in the sentence. That means if the position changes to raf, nasb or jar, it won't take any haraka like kasra or fatha. It will remain mabni on fatha always. I mean to say the dhamma. So it remains mabni on fatha always. In case of marfu, it will remain mabni on fatha. In case of mansub, even then if it is in mansub case, you have to write it is mabni on fatha. You cannot write with it is fatha zahira. You cannot write in Arab, as we will do Arab later. I will explain there. In case of majroor, you will write mabni on fatha. So let's check the other points. Yes. 11 and 12 have the same gender. This is very important, please. 11 and 12 have the same gender as we did in number 1 and 2. From 13 to 19, the gender is opposite, as I was speaking about the example here. If you don't remember, I'll just show you. Here we were speaking about the gender, opposite gender, and it should be thalasa because it's my typing mistake. Okay. So this I was speaking about here. From 13 to 19, the gender is opposite. And from 11 to 99, these are all very important points. 11 to 99, the counted nouns are now called tamiz. This is very important. Counted nouns are called tamiz. Means, what does tamiz means? It means a word that eradicates any kind of doubt. So these are all the important points discussed here, and I have showed you why it becomes mabni, because the waw is removed from the two parts. So let's see the i'rab. Now I will show you the i'rab of 11 and 12. What happens when number 12 changes? Let's see the i'rab of 11 and 12, which is let's first do the i'rab of 11, which is mabni, because 11 never changes. In the rough case, what do you see here? In the rough case, it is for male. When you do for male, now as discussed before, in 11 and 12, the gender will be the same. So ja'a is our fail, and ahada is our number. It's the file. Okay, file, fail plus file, and this is our tamiz. Okay, this is our tamiz. So ja'a ahada ashara taliban. Now you see, everything is male. Number is male. Ashara, the second part is also male. The first part is male, as we discussed before, and the second part is also male. Okay, I'll take a black ink as in case you don't see. So the first part is male and the second part is also male. No gender opposites. In this case, feminine ehda. Now ahada is used for male. Ehda is used for feminine number. Ehda. Now first part is feminine because this is 12. Asharata talibatan. The second part is also feminine. No opposite genders are used here. So you can see ja'at fail plus fa'il. Okay, fail plus fa'il. This is the first part. In the next case, what happens? Ra'aytu, fail and fa'il. We have both. Now this is our maf'ulun bihi position. Okay, this is in our maf'ulun bihi MB. I'm writing in short, and this is our tamiz. So let's see, this is for male. رأيت أحد عشر طالبا. What do you see in the rough case? In the rough, the file should have a dhamma here, but no. As we discussed before, it's now mabni on fatha. As you can see here clearly, the number ashara and ahada, they all remain mabni. Tamiz is mabni always, but the number also becomes mabni on fatha. What was the reason for becoming mabni on fatha? The waw in between has been removed. So that's why in rough case also you will see fatha over it. And in nasb case also, they are mabni on fatha. You cannot write fatha zahira just because it is in nasb case. No, you have to write in Arab as mabni on fatha. Okay, mabni al fatha. In case of feminine, you see ihda, the femininity, the numbers are feminine, and this this is a typing mistake. Asharata, this is also mabni on fatha, and here also this is a weak letter, so we cannot write a fatha over it, so we will assume a fatha since it is alif makhsura is a weak letter, cannot carry any haraka, so we will assume as fatha muqaddara here, and this is also mabni on fatha. And let's see in the jar case what happens in the jar case. Sallamtu ala. Now since this is harf jar, what happens to the ahada ashara? This is in ism majroor position, right? Ism majroor position. Since it is in ism, it should have a kasra here, but no, it is built on mabni on fatha in the jar case also. Okay. Similarly here also this is a weak letter, so we cannot write haraka over it, so it is muqaddara, but still it is mabni on fatha, as you can see here. The first and the second part you can see. Okay, this is for the number 1 and number 11 and 12. Okay, now come to the i'rab of 12. I mean the 12 which is changing. As you can see here, the only exception is number 12. Why is it an exception? Because it shows the duality as it is changing, because it's dual. It shows the duality. It changes its structure from ithna to ithnain. I mean in mansub and majroor it changes its structure. So the i'rab of number 12, which is mu'rab, as it represents duality, in rough case what happens? Ja'a ithna ashara, as we know. Now here we know that okay, here we know that this is fail, so this should be file. In the case of file, position of file, and file is always marfu. So in this case, the muthanna word will be represented by alif. So that's why you can see ithna ashara. Okay, if ashara remains the same, then you cannot write asharu. You cannot write asharu. Make it always on fatha. In case of only number, the number is only changing. I mean to say the first part is always changing, not the second part. These two remains the same mabni on fatha. These two remains the same. So that's why it is very important to make the first part the number and the second part the number and the tamiz, ashara and the tamiz. So what happens in the nasb case? In the nasb case, the alif changes to ya, as musanna is represented by ya in musanna case. And as I have explained before, what happens in musanna, it should be if nan. What about the noon? Ithnan. Where did the noon go? The noon is actually dropped whenever you write the number together. The noon is dropped in between, and the number is now ithna ashara. Okay, ashara. So the noon has been dropped. In same case, ithnaini, the noon has been removed. Okay, ithnaini, the noon has been dropped. Only the ya remains. Ithnaini. So that's why the noon is not there. In case of mansub, ra'aytu fail and file. What happens? This is our maf'ulun bihi. It is in mansub case. That's why it is represented with ya. If nay ashara taliban. In case of feminine, ra'aytu ithnatai. This ta is ta tanis, showing the femininity. Ithnatai asharata. In this case, the second part remains the same. Second part remains the same. No changes in the second part. Only changes in the first part. In case of jar, what happens? The same, because we know muthanna in nasb and jar is represented by the letter ya. Okay, you can see the same changes. Okay, so this is the i'rab for number 12. Now, what happens for the noon, as I explained? In case of Ithnan, the noon drops as we do in the Idafa construction with Jama Mudhakkar Salim, like Mudarrisu al-Madrasati means the teachers of the school. What happened? You cannot write Mudarrisuna al-Madrasati. You cannot write it. You need to drop uh, the noon here in order to make the idafa construction. Now, how do we know it is an idafa construction? As we know, the mudaf ilayhi is always in majroor position, so it is mudaf ilayhi, and the noon is dropped. This shows that jama muzakkar is coming with mudaf ilayhi, and it is an idafa construction. So these are the important rules regarding 11 and 12. I hope this is clear for you up till now. These were the most important point, the two parts of 11 and 12, why, how it became mabni on fatha and all. So these are the most important points discussed. Now let's move on to the numbers from 13 to 19. Then we will do number 20 separately. So let's see the structures of 13 to 19. What is the structure of 13 to 19 here? What happened here? Now, if you see the first part and the second part, now the gender changes. That's why I have marked it before. Thalathata, it is feminine. The second part is male. So when you do the numbers for 11 and from 13 to 19, always look for the tamiz first. Okay, always look for the tamiz. Whenever numbers 1 and 2, 11 and 12 comes, just remember the genders are the same. Even for 21 and 22, the genders are the same. 31, 32 genders are the same, because same rule applies for number 1 and 2. The rules will apply for 11 and 12, 31 and 32, 41 and 42. But as soon as 3 to 10 comes, or 13 to 19 comes, or 23 to 29 comes, what happens? The opposite gender rule comes in. So let's see. Thalatha, it is feminine. Ashara taliban, it is male. So whenever you do the number, always check for the tamiz first. First of all, write down the tamiz. Whatever the tamiz is in gender, that will be your clue to find out the number. If the tamiz is male, then after that find out the tamiz. If it is male, then you decide the number. The number should be female. If the tamiz is female, then you decide the number should be male. So always first of all do the tamiz. Always write the tamiz first and then decide for the number. So let's see. Okay, let's see the numbers. Now, I have not done the Arab of 1 and 2 in the previous video. So I will do the Arab right now. But first, before doing the Arab, I will do from the points of number 13 to 19 and 20 first. And then we will do the Arab, inshallah. From number 13 to 19, the gender of the numbers are tamiz. Number and tamiz will be opposite, as I discussed before. They will remain mabni on fatha in any case position in the sentence. As I told you, from 11 to 19, the positions, whether they are in raf, nasb or jar, the haraka will remain mabni on fatha. So simple. There are only 2 points to remember from 13 to 19. Only 2 points to remember, that the gender will be opposite now and the haraka will remain mabni on fatha, whether it is in file case, or it is in maful bihi case, or it is in ism majroor case. Now, for example, I have given you example for a male and a female. So let's look for the male first. Najaha. Najaha means to successful. Sittata ashara. Let's see the harakas first here in example of male. Najaha عشر طالبا. So what should we look here for? Let's see. What should we look here for? Now this is for male, we know. And this is fail. So this should be in file position, right? We know the formula. Fail plus file. Then comes the maful bihi. I told you if you have the fail and file, your jumla failure is complete. Maful bihi is something extra. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, we have numbers. Don't you say Taliban is in maful bihi case because it has a fatha over there. We know this is tamiz. Okay, this is tamiz. You need to do the Arab as it is tamiz. So now this number part is our file position. So as it is in file position, this should have a dhamma, but it isn't. Why? Because as I told you, all the numbers will be mabni on fatha. So I'll just rub it off so that you can see the numbers here. It's example. It's a fatha over here, as you can see it. And then you can see the numbers here. Let's see the example. For the male example, for najaha sittata ashara taliban. So as I've marked here, this is najaha is fail madi actually. This is fail madi. And sittata ashara, we know this is fail plus, now the number part is in file position. The number part is in file position. Even if you can see the fatha over the last letter of the noun, and this is fatha. Even though it is in marfu case, but it is carrying a fatha because as we discussed before, that the number will be mabni on fatha. Why? Because the waw in between has been taken out. So let's see the Arab from here. Najaha fail madi. Sittata ashara, as you can see, it has a fatha mabni over it. Adadun. Now how you will do the Arab for the sittata ashara? So the Arab will be adadun. Adad means the number. Murakkabun. Now both of them are adad murakkab, means that the two numbers have come together and made one word, the compound number. Compound means two has come together and been made into one number name. Mabni. Mabni ala al-fath al-juz'ain. Why Juzain? Because there are two parts. Okay, two parts came together and has been made into one number name. Fathata, Fathatu, or Fathati, because there's a harf jar. Al Juzain fi mahal raf'il, and it is in the position of file, even though it has a fatha. Taliban is simple, it's a tamiz, so you need to tell tamiz mansoob. Why? Because tamiz is always mansoob. Wa alamatu nasbihi il fatatu. So this is the Arab for the other numbers. So let's say we will do the Arab for the female one. Najahat. In this case, we did for male. Now we will see for female. It's the same. Najahat arba'a asharata taliban. Since I wanted to do more Arabs for the numbers, so I thought it's better doing in female. Najahat arba'a ashara talibatan. Now you see, this is for male, and these two parts are male. These two parts are male, male and male. Only this part is female. In case of male numbers, what happens in case of female number? These two parts are female and only the number part, the first part, is male. So that's why I have always divided this into one part and number into one part, so that you don't get confused whenever putting the numbers according to gender. So najahat is fail madi. It's a typing mistake. Madi. And arba ashara. Ashara, you can see it's with ta marbuta because it's the second part coming in the second part, and you can see the fatha in both of them. So arba asharata adadun. Why it is arba? Because if the tamiz is female, you need to put the number male. So arba asharata adadun murakkabun, same Arab, even though it is a feminine, but you need to do the same Arab. Adadun murakkabun mabniyun ala al-fathi al-juzain fi mahal raf fa'il. Same. It's the same here. Talibatan, since it's a female here. So talibatan tamiz mansoob walamatu nasbihi il fathatu, and here you can see is in the position of file even though it has a fatha over here. So this is the Arab for the number from 13 to 19. So let's see. We have discussed everything here. Now we did the Arab of number 1 and 2. Let's see, we will do the Arab of number 1 and 2. As I have forgotten the Arab in my previous video to give the Arab of number 1 and 2, so let's discuss it now. Arab of number 1, how do we do? Ja'a talibun wahidun. Ja'a fil madi. Talib is fa'ilun marfu'un wa alamatu raf'i dhammatu. Simple, because after fi'l comes the file. That's why here you can see it's in the it's carrying a dhamma. So when it is in the file case, it's a simple Arab that it's marfu'un fa'ilun marfu'un alamatu raf'i dhamma, carrying a dhamma over it. Wahidun sifatun marfu'atun wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-dhammatu. Why marfu'atun? Because sifa is a feminine noun. That's why marfu'atun with a ta marbuta. Now let's see when it's in nasb case. Number 1 is in nasb case. Ra'aytu taliban wahidan. It's the simple ra'ay. I have divided this into ra'ay because it's easier to know how we are doing the Arab. Ra'ay fail madi. And then the attached pronoun to is damir muttasil. That's why here you have to write muttasil. Why? Because this damir is attached with the fail madi. Fa'ilun. This is the file. The attached damir is in file position. We know according to the grammar rules, whenever a damir is attached to the past verb, it is in the position of file. Marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi mabni ala dam. Now we all know that all the damirs of tu, na, ta, ti, tuma, tum, all these, if you can remember, these are all made mabni. This is made on dhamma, mabni on dhamma. This is made on fatha, mabni. This is made on mabni on fatha, mabni on kasra, mabni on dhamma, mabni on ta, mabni on dhamma. So we have to say this in Arab. Alamatu raf wa mabni ala dam. Because this dhamma on ta, damir will never change. Taliban maf'ulun bihi mansubun. Why? Because it is now, if you see this is fail and this is file, then this is obviously in maf'ul bihi position. Mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-fathatu wahidan is sifa mansubatun. So this is the simple Arab you can see here. So let's see the majroor case. Sallamtu ala talibin wahidin. It's simple. Fail and file. Sallam, fail madi. Then I have forgotten to give you the two for file. So it's the same as we did here. ضمير متصل فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه ومبني على دم. What about ta'ala? Harf jar. Talibin is majroor wa alamatu jarrihi al kasra. So because you can see a kasra here because of the harf jar. And wahidin is sifatun majruratun. Now sifa is in majroor case, as sifa follows the noun in Arab also. So let's see Arab of number 2. Now we know that number 2 shows duality, so it is changing. Ja'a Talibani Ithnani, and we know that Muthanna in Marfu case is not recognized by haraka but by letters. What are the letters? In Marfu it is recognized by Alif. Alif. And in Mansub and Majroor it is recognized by the letter Ya. So let's see. Ja'a Talibani Ithnani. Fail, Madi, and Taliban is fa'ilun. After fail comes the fa'il. Now, how will you do the Arab in Muthanna case? Fa'ilun marfu'un. We know it is in marfu case. How? What is the sign? The presence of alif. And here also the noon is extra. In Arabic we say noon zaida. So, marfu'an wa alamatu raf'ihi. We know it is in raf position, but how? Raf'ihi ad-dammatu? No. Here we will do the Arab as raf'ihi bil alifu. Because of the presence of alif in muthanna case, it shows it is in raf case. Bil alifi li annahu. Now you will give your reasons. Li annahu muthanna. Why it is raf with alif? Because it is muthanna. Ithnani. Now, ithnani, you know, is coming as sifa for number 2. So, you will write sifa marfu'atun wa alamatu rafihi bil alifi. It's the same because it is muthanna. Bil alifi li'annahu muthanna. So, this is how you will do the Arab of number 2. Now we will do the Manthub case. Ra'aytu talibaini ithnaini. Now what is happening here? What is happening here? Ra'aytu talibaini. Now this is fail and this tu damir is file as we did here. Tu damir muttasil fa'ilun marfu'un. So this is file. Talibaini is falling under maf'ul bihi case. As for the formula, I have always told you fail plus fa'il plus maf'ulun bihi. Okay, follow this formula every time whenever you do the i'rab of any ayah. الرأي فعل ماضي. تو ضمير متصل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه مبني على دم. Now طالبين, what is happening here in طالبين? Now in Jama Muzakkar Salim also you can see mudarrisina. One may see this word and may say this may also be muthanna mudarrisina. Okay, but what is the difference in Jama Muzakkar Salim and in Muthanna case? What is the difference in these two? Here also ya, it is recognized by ya, and here also it is recognized by ya. What is the only difference here? The only difference here is the fatha before the ya tells you that this is Muthanna case. Okay? This is very important point and I always repeat this. And in this case, you will see the kasra before the ya. This tells you that is Jama Muzakkar Salim. Okay, this is the major difference. So, Talibaini is in maful bihi mansub wa alamatu nasbihi bil ya. Bil ya'i li'annahu give reasons muthanna. Ithnaini sifatun mansubun wa alamatu raf'ihi sorry نسبه بالياء لأنه مثنى. So let's see the jar. It's very easy. سلمت على طالبين. You can see the fatha before the ya showing its muthanna form and the fatha before the ya also. سلم فعل ماضي. على حرف jar. I have all now again forgot to give this Arab of Damir 2. You can copy from here. And ala harf jar. Talibain is majroor now. Why is majroor? After harf jar comes is majroor. Wa alamatu jarrihi bil ya. لأنه مثنى. اثنين, you can see the فتحتين, sorry, فتحة. صفة مجرورة بالياء لأنه مثنى. So it's the same as منصوب case. So now we have done all the cases of 11 and 12, and we have discussed the Arab of 11. So let's go through. جاء أحد عشر طالبا. أحد عشر عدد مركب مبني على فتح الجزئين في محل رفع فاعل. Okay, it's the same. طالبا تمييز منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة لأنه مفرد. رأيت أحد, as we know, in any case it's not going to change its position. The only difference is, what is the difference here? In case of Ja'a, now this is in the case of file, even though it is in file, it's carrying a fathatain here. And what is the difference here? What you can see here? The gender, it's male, male, and male. All the gender is the same. In 11 and 12, the gender remains the same. Here also, رأيت فعل and file, أحد عشر carrying fatha, and it is in منصوب case مفعول به. رأي فعل ماضي. تو ضمير متصل مبني على ضم في محل رفع فاعل. أحد عشر عدد مركب, made into compound number. Two numbers have names have come and made into compound number. How? Because the waw has been taken out. Mabniun ala al-fath. That's why it became mabni on fatha. Fath al-juzain. Why juzain? Because it's made up of two numbers. Fi mahall nasb. Okay, fi mahall nasb maf'ulun bihi. طالبا تمييز منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة لأنه مفرد. It's the same. And sorry. سلمت على أحد عشر طالبا. سين سلم في الماضي ضمير متصل مبني على ضم في محل رفع فاعل على حرف جر. أحد عشر عدد مركب مبني على فتح الجزئين في محل جر اسم مجرور. طالبا تمييز منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة لأنه مفرد. So this is how you do the Arab. Let's come to the Arab of number 12. As I have already discussed the Arab of 13, 14, and likewise it will go on with 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So Ja'a Ithna Ashara Taliban. What happened here in Isna Ashara? What can you see here? In Ja'a, it is fail. Okay, we will follow the fail plus file and maf'ulun bihi formula. Ja'a is fail. Ithna Ashara is in the position, both of them in fa'il position. What else can you see here? The gender. It's the male, male, and male. Okay, same Arab if it is in female, only the difference it will be ithnata with a tatanis. Okay, ithnata with a tatanis, and asharata and talibatan with a ta marbuta. So جاء فعل ماضي إثنى فاعل مرفوع لامة رفعه بالألف. Why? Because now it is a dual لأنه مثنى. عشر عدد مركب مبني على الفتح. Now in the Arab of 12, the two numbers are being explained differently. Why? Because this is dual and ashara is not dual. In case of these numbers, we were doing together. Ahada ashara adadun murakkabun. Ahada ashara we did together because this was not dual, so we need not explain this number name. Now here, because of this ithna, it represents duality. So we need to do the Arab of isna differently and ashara differently. Even after that, these two numbers are adad murakkab. Okay, means a compound number name. Since it is a dual number, we need to do the Arab separately. That's the only reason. عشرة عدد مركب مبني على فتح. طالبا تمييز منصوب والعامة نسبه الفتحة لأنه مفرد. It's the same. Okay, one more difference I have forgotten here is the what is the original name of Ithna? Ithnan. Okay, originally we say Ithnani. Now, what happened to this noon? As soon as these two number names came together and made into a compound number, this noon was deleted. Why is always the noon deleted? In Jama Muzakkar Salim also, when it is made into Idafa construction, the noon gets deleted because this noon doesn't have any work. It is known as extra noon, noon az-zaida, and this noon represents tanween. In this tanween, actually, those who are tajweed students, they know that whenever you come across a tanween over a letter, that means there is a noon hidden with a sukoon. So when you want to say a word, you will say like in the case of asharatan. Asharatan, how do you pronounce asha? It's a tajweed rule, but I'll just explain. Asharatan. Now, when it has a tanween here, how will you pronounce? Asharatan. Ta with noon. Okay, and noon with sukoon. So, this noon shows the tanween. In this tanween, the noon with sukoon is hidden. So, this noon represents tanween actually sometimes. And let's see the ra'aytu ithnain. Now in this case also ithnaini. So the noon is deleted here. Ra'aytu ithnai عشرة طالبا. رأي فعل ماضي تو ضمير متصل مبني على دم في محل رفع فاعل. اثنين مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه بالياء لأنه مثنى. عشر عدد مركب مبني على فتح and طالبا تمييز منصوب وعلامة نسبه. This is typing mistake. الفتحة لأنه مفرد. So all the Arabs you can take from here. Then سلمت على اثني عشر طالبا. So سلمت فعل فاعل على حرف جر. اثني will be in مجرور case is مجرور. عشرة عدد مركب. It's the same Arab following every time. No changes. Just in case of إثنى you need to explain that it is a مثنى case بالياء. Why? It is in مجرور case. And عشرة عدد مركب مبني على فتح. طالبا تمييز منصوب وعلامة نسبه الفتحة لأنه مفرد. So this is the Arab for 11 and 12. And now we will do the number 20. Now we did 11 and 12 separately. The Arab of them. Why? Because 11 and 12 don't change their gender, and the numbers are rules are different. And from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, the Arabs are the same as here. As here we did, and ستة عشر طالبا and أربعة عشر is the same till 19. Same Arab, even if it is in a feminine case. And from 11 and 12 we did just now. Now 20 is done differently. Number 20, which is a part of uqud. Now when you do 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. Till 90 these numbers are called uqud. Uqud. Now the points for the number 20 is from 20 these numbers are called uqud. So and so on 20, 30, 40. These numbers don't change their gender. Works for both male and female. Now if I tell you that we have, for example, 20 female students. So what will you write? If I give you 20 female students, so how will you write it? So this will be 20. Okay, so first you will write 20. Let's say came 20 female students came. Okay, so what will you do? Ja'a, Ja'at, sorry, with the tatanis. Ja'at, how many? 20. So we will leave a dash over here. We will not put the number right now. Female students. So female students is our tamiz. Put the tamiz here. Talibatan. Okay? Talibatan. Okay. So if I see that tamiz is female, we will put what? We will put the uh, the number name for 20 is Ishroon. Okay, why Ishroon? Ishroon. Okay, now one may ask why Ishroon? This is for Jama male Muzakkar and we are doing for feminine. Why Ishroon? Because this is fail. If we apply the formula, this is fa'il. And file is always in marfu case. Okay, and wow shows in Jama Muzakkar Salim that it is in marfu case. Okay, so never think that if this is female we will put something feminine, ishruna, or you can put ishrat. Some may say like it should be ishrat as Jama Muannas Salim. It cannot be. It cannot be. The genders, you cannot work in genders in Uqud. 20, 30, 40 will remain like this. And all the number names from 20 to 90 will be in Jama Muzakkar Salim. These numbers don't change for gender, works for both male and female. Okay, Ashruna Taliban, Ashruna Talibatan. Okay, and when I say Jaat, so this was for Marfu case. Okay, and when I say Ra'aitu, let's see Ra'aitu case. What is, how do we do Ra'aitu case? Ra'aitu means I want to say like in Mansub case. Okay, Ra'aitu, um, um, Ra'aitu 20 female students. So what will be? Now we have fail plus file. The two damir is file. So now the thing coming here will be in maf'ulun bihi, right? According to the formula. So we will put the number name Ishruna here. Now it is in maf'ul bihi case. You need to see that it is in maf'ul bihi. So what it will be? Jama Muzakkar Salim in nasb case. Ishrina with a ya. In this case, you will follow the Arab. Okay. Ishrina talibatan. In case of a male also, taliban, you will do the same thing. Follow the Arab. Ra'aytu ishrina talibatan. Now, in case of jar case also, sallamtu ala ishrina talibatan and ala ishrina taliban. Same Arab. Okay. So, this is what is in number 20. And in Arab it changes its position from raf nas jar as they are in Jama Muzakkar Salim, like Ishruna Taliban in male, Ishrina Taliban in this will be in Mansub and Majroor case. I'm just writing it in short, and this in Mansub and Majroor. Okay, both of them for male and female, both case. These are for male and these are for female. So this is the only point for the number 20. So I hope it's clear the Arab of 11 and 12, number 20. So if you want to copy all the Arabs here, it's clearly given, and I have collected all the Arabs information from different books and different information and PDFs, and given all the Arab in this single video. So I hope you can do the all Arabs and copy down all the Arabs from here, as I have done it very slowly. Inshallah, you can make out all the Arabs from here if you can copy from here. Now from here it is from 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 till 19. It's the same Arab here, and from here it's this is 11, this is 12, and this is for number 20. So Alhamdulillah, I did finish with the Arab and number rules for 11, 12, 13 to 19 and 20. Now in my next video, I will make for the number rules for 21 to 99 and 100 and then 1000. I will try to cover it in one video. If it gets long, then I'll make a separate video, inshallah. Until then, meet you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.